Hey, young America, we need to talk. You may think this is uncool. You may even think it is bogus. But I want to tell you about something that has everyone buzzing. Something that concerns mature boys and girls just like you. Something called grassroots.
Hey everyone, this is Erin Ashley Simon.
And this is Brandon Killabh.
And welcome to another episode of Grassroots Podcast, where it's not just about where you're going, where you are, but also about where you came from. And today, we have a special guest.
Am I special? That's I like that. Thank you.
No, hey, continue introducing yourself.
I'm all.
Yeah. For the viewers that are listening, I know that sounds like a very plain name, but we're going to get into Maul. Pause. Maul has layers of just Maul.
Pause. Can we get into you two a little bit? Because this is a personal thing.
I know.
I wouldn't have done this if we wasn't my guy.
And I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. You know you're my man, $100,000. I appreciate you coming through. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good show, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good show.
Anytime me and Brandon are like this close sitting, we have great conversation.
I think
and it's been a while, so.
It has been. Well, I mean, you know, you Hollywood, you live in LA.
Here we go. Damn, we not 30 seconds in.
On very popular podcasts, you know.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Selling out venues and shit.
Yeah,
so, you know.
that's what they say.
We just trying to build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just trying to build.
I like what y'all doing, though.
We just trying to
Thank you.
I definitely, I like what y'all doing. I'm seeing
you.
y'all movement and it looks really, really good. Let me
Thank
say
you.
that. It looks really good. Like I had to give you dap on that. It was definitely like y'all definitely doing a good job. And I love the Royce episode. The Red Man, that's one of my favorite artists
Shout out
ever.
to
So
Red.
that was just dope for me. But I like what y'all doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Like if y'all was
Trying.
doing some bullshit, can I curse?
Yeah.
Oh,
of
if y'all was
course.
doing some bullshit, I mean, homeboy or not, I would have been like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't do
Well,
that.
that's what I say. A lot of my friends are like that. They're assholes. They are. But assholes in a good way. I keep
The
saying
group
that.
chat.
The group chat. Yeah.
Yep.
He's group chat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if ever I'm doing some whack shit, they'll be like, yo, B, fam, chill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Chill.
yeah.
Chill.
Brandon informed me about the group chat. That's
Yeah, man.
also how I found out that I was approved too. So
She got the approval from Joe.
Yeah,
got the approval from
definitely.
Joe.
Yeah.
So, you know, I said, now you're group chatted in. It's just how we do. So,
Hey.
but let's get into it more because I've always said this. I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
And the reason I say it is because I used to often say, and please don't take this to offense, but we've often said that, Maul, you are a waste of talent because you just walk around and you just embody ideas. For those that don't know, Maul comes up with amazing ideas. Like, we could just be chilling in the studio and he'd just come up with a concept for a record. It's down to things. Maul's changed things in our performance with Joe that a lot of people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? I've always said to Maul, like, yo, like, fam, go do something.
Right.
So now to see you on this plateau and now you have a fan base. Like, forget, because you've always had a fan base. Everyone is very keen on you being very intricate in your thinking, but it's a humor behind it that it's relatable.
Right.
But now it's to the point where you have a separate fan base from that, and now you're not just Maul, but you're Maul on one of the best podcasts out there, arguably, and a lot of the fans say it's because of you. You're a great addition. So talk to me about that.
Well, I think it was just it's a natural feel because of my relationship with Joe. So I think the people, what they're experiencing is something that's real. They know that it's not just somebody that's sitting down talking and, you know, they like, oh, who is this person? They see that there's a real connection and relationship. So it comes across that way. But yeah, man, there was something that I never thought about doing that. We was doing a podcast a few years ago, but Joe, I was in town from LA and Joe asked me to just come do the show. So I went up there, I did it. And he said the response was great. And I was still in town the week after that. So he was like, yo, come back on. So I was like, all right, cool. So then it just turned into like, yo, dog, you just got to do the show now. Yeah. It just fit that way. But yeah, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just the natural chemistry, I guess. I never really, the whole fan thing is still crazy to me. Like, people recognizing me when I go out in public now is kind of scary because you know where I'm from. People just walking up to you. I was about to say, kind of like,
oh yeah,
Maul has hood ideologies.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm from the hood, so it's like.
But that's what I'm saying. No,
I'm bred a certain way.
You're bred a certain way. It's the same way. I feel like you and Joe kind of instilled that. Like, I was very angelic going on tour, and y'all was like, yo, B, you got to pay attention to this. You got to pay attention. So I get that. It comes with a certain paranoia, and you 100% can identify with it because in what you do in your field all day, every day, being around athletes, fucking artists. So you get it. Yeah. But Maul has always been very vocal with that. Like, Maul never took pictures. Maul was very in the cut, like, oh, that's Maul. And he'd be like, yeah, what up? Like, he was very,
I don't
so
like
to
that
see it,
attention.
so to see it, I'm happy.
I appreciate it though. Like, because some dudes really genuinely are, they like, yo, I respect the show. I love the show. I love what you do. I love your dick. So that's cool, but I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's an adjustment.
I identify with that because I, like you said, I've been working in mostly, I started in the sports industry and then I did music. But I was the same way. Like, if you go on my Instagram, I was not taking photos with all these celebs, just only recently because I have to, because my publicist is like, well, I wouldn't refer as publicist, but the branding consultant was just basically saying, like, you have to start doing that.
Yeah.
And even still, it feels weird. Yeah. Like, even when people ask to take photos of me, it's like, I'm not famous.
Right.
Like,
but that's how
it's
I feel.
like, I'm not famous.
I'm like, wait, me? Like, you want a picture of me for what? Exactly. You know what I mean? But again, it's something that you have to get used to, and it's a change, but it's positive, so I'm not mad at it.
And that's always a good thing. So, I mean, talk to us about more before podcasts. Because again, you're someone, you're an enigma. You're someone that is very intricate. And of course I know you, I know the layers, but I wanted to kind of touch on that. And me and Erin both said, like, I was like, yo, we should get Maul on. And the first thing Erin said was like, yes, I need to know how he thinks.
I need to know more. Because I'm not close with you. I only know certain things, but I could tell just even listening to the podcast that there is a lot more layers to you that you purposely do not show.
Absolutely. Correct. I mean, I'm the total opposite of Joe. Joe reveals everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you'll be lucky to get 10 minutes of talk from me. You know what I mean? But it's just something that I've just always been reserved. I've always been, a listener. I listen a lot. I'm observant. I observe a lot. That's just my nature, naturally. If I'm comfortable with you, like if I'm comfortable in the setting, I can be the life of the room. You know what I mean? But if 100%. I'm not comfortable with, not even not comfortable with, you gotta kind of fill people out. Then I can open up more and reveal more. And I feel like even on the show, I've been doing that more. I feel like the people are getting more of my personality. I feel like they're learning more about me. I've done other podcasts where I've revealed certain things that a lot of people didn't know. So I feel like, I can't just jump out there all at once. But again, it's just how I was brought up, man. I was just always brought up to just let them see you. Don't let them necessarily hear you. You know what I mean? So.
Yo, that's crazy, Brandon. Him and I are very similar. You gotta tell him about the time we met. I was the same way.
I don't know if you listened to the prior episode, but that's how I was when I met her. You know what I'm saying? We were doing our executive MBAs, and we both kind of had a connection just from music and just talking and shit like that. But she moves like that. And I was saying, yo, you really remind me of a lot of my friends that are very just on the guard and kind of, to reserve type shit. And I was like, that's what drew me to her. And then talking with her, I was like, yo, she's a genius. I was like, we have to do something. Like, let's do this shit. Like, we have to do it. So now for you, as you're now, I guess, coming out of a shell per se, how is it adjusting? Because you're still the regular person in your brain, even though, again, I don't know if it'll ever set in. You're not really regular at this point.
I'm a regular guy, man.
I hear you. That sounds good.
Regular guy.
I hear you. But on the grand scheme of things, you're really not regular anymore. So how is that adjusting? Like, because you're the guy that I just want to go, let's go to the pool, let's go shoot to the corner store. Like, you're that type of person.
I still see, the thing is, I still do these regular things. Like, I'm a regular guy, man. Like, I ride the train. You know what I'm saying? I walk Harlem blocks in the Bronx. Like, it's still like, I'm still me, man. Like, this is all cool. The notoriety and being recognized by people you never met before. And, that's cool. But mentally, I'm still the same kid from the Bronx, man. Like, nothing has really changed. I mean, I travel a lot, and I have people from different walks of life that are close friends and family and things like that. But to me, it's like, though, I'm still a regular guy, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm never like, felt like I'm above anybody or I'm better than anybody. Like, I'm a regular cat, man.
I feel you. I have a question. This is kind of a sidestep. I keep looking at your shirt. It says black men don't cheat. Socrates.
Don't cheat. Yeah, I mean, when have you ever seen the black? We winning already. What we got to cheat for?
Again, for the listeners that are going to be seeing this and hearing this, anytime Erin drops that little, I got a question.
I got to ask.
I just feel like it's real, though. Black men, we don't cheat. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
But what was Kevin Hart doing?
Kevin Hart was unfaithful. He didn't cheat. Cheating is different.
Okay, please tell me the definitions.
See, cheating is when you're trying to...
I'm going to let y'all handle it.
No, but okay, cheating to me is when you're trying to do something to get ahead. You're trying to have an advantage that your opponent doesn't know about. It's not... See, cheating is more than just sexual relationship. I'm just talking about cheating in general.
But can't a black man cheat against another black man? Because if it's more so about this inferior and superiority complex, I know essentially you're saying a black man can't cheat someone who's white per se, right. But can a black man cheat a black man if they're both on the same playing field essentially?
I guess maybe if it's you talking about with another black man, but usually black men, I feel like we don't understand exactly how far ahead and how superior we are. Honestly, I feel like we don't. Like, if you just look at everything that we influence as black culture, as black men, like, look at all of the great black men that have walked the earth. I mean, black women are great as well. To me, I think black women are the greatest ever. But when you think about black men, because when a black man is born, we're at such a disadvantage, right? Just as soon as we're born. So for you to look at some of the things that black men have achieved, that has to be the greatest. Like, it's like how you come from those beginnings and just surpass everyone. That's just my mentality, though. Like, there's nothing black men can't do in my mind.
I respect that.
You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts.
All right, is it clear now?
Yeah, I like her though.
I still think
she's looking at me like I want to slap this nigga so bad.
No. I'm for me, like, I mean, that I see that you have logic in it. Mm-hmm. There's some people that just say black men don't cheat. Yeah. No, because they don't. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's deeper than that.
Now I understand the deep aspect to it. But I do think that black men can cheat on black women.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about the levels, the inferior, I can't even talk. But like the playing level field. That's why when I was like, black men don't cheat.
Again, black women to me are like, black men have a long way to go to catch up to black women.
It's interesting you said that too, because I remember I took a class and it talked about black women, and like it's very similar to kind of like what you were saying. When black men are born, I'm tired as hell right now.
It's okay.
When black men are born, they have a strike against them, and my mom always taught me that black women, you got two strikes. You're black and you're a woman.
Yeah.
So
I always say that though. That's why I normally. I try to keep women around me. Only reason, number one, because I've always said this. I feel like you learn more from women than you ever can from a man.
Well, see, what it is women, and I'm the same way. I love being around women, and it's not even a sexual.
Yeah,
thing.
nah,
Like, I just love the honesty that comes with women, the perspective. Women see things in a way that men can never see things. Mm-hmm. And there's no, see, when you have a bunch of men in a room, it's already a competitive thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in competition with any women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I have women around, it's genuinely like I'm learning from them. And I'm experiencing new things. Like, women know, you know, what certain type of foods to try. Like, my homeboy, we gonna eat the same shit if we go out, burgers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A steak or something like that.
Yeah.
Women want to change your palate a little bit. Yo, taste this, taste that.
No, she'll eat a burger.
I'm doing the whole eat around the world
and so
thing.
will my assistant, Nicole. She'll eat a burger.
No, women eat burgers, but I'm just saying women are more inclined to get out
the
man
routine.
to try different things.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, 100%.
You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
Like, if my homeboy come over and be like, try this, I'm going to smack that shit out of his hand. Like, you want me to try different? You know what I mean? It just don't come across the same as coming from a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why do you think it is that for you, obviously, you think that Black women are amazing, that there's so much that you can learn from them? Then why are we in a time period where there are men that, even though they came from a woman gave them life, that they continue to disrespect women, and more specifically, continue to disrespect Black women, especially like these young cats out here?
Well, these young dudes are lost. You know what I mean? They're lost. They don't get it yet. And you know what? I can't blame them. I can't put all the blame on them, because they have to be taught that. Somebody has to reach back and kind of get in their ear early. You know what I mean? Right now, it's just like, you know, with smartphones and the internet, a lot of kids are growing up in the house, and they're growing up in the basements and their garages. You know, they're just doing weird shit and putting it out to the world. And right now, it's like a who can be weirder than who competition. Like, when you look at all the new artists that are coming up, like the way they just look at them, it's like, oh, he has purple hair. Okay, I want to have gray hair. I want to have blue hair. I want to tattoo my entire. It's like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the era I come from, the way you stood out was your talent.
Yeah.
It wasn't about how you look. Like I always say, look at Biggie. Biggie told you, I'm black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Coochie down to the socks. That was him saying, like, dog, I'm ugly, I know that, but I'm fly. You know what I mean? So other cats had to acknowledge that, like, he is a fly dude.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, who can be weirder? Who can do the most drugs without dying?
Word.
Like, this generation coming up is scary, man. And it's like, I can't expect them to speak on certain things and know certain things, because it's kind of like, I feel like my generation, we kind of just threw away with them. Like, we saw them being weird and we was like, all right, then ain't no getting through to these young dudes. Like, let them do what they want. Because, again, when you have your phone in your hand, I could talk to you all day. And as soon as you go home, if you decide to go in your privacy, your bedroom, and get butt naked and put baby powder all over yourself and put it out to the internet, it's nothing I can do about that. It's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a couple of years ago, it was like you couldn't do that. You know what I mean? It was like the world. I would see it and be like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the world wouldn't see the weird shit that certain. And don't get it twisted. I always say, because people love to say, oh, how would Biggie or Tupac be if they had Twitter or Instagram? Don't get it twisted. They might have did some crazy wild shit too, because they were young. You know, I keep telling people, those cats was only 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
That's why when you see young artists now, like, oh, he's young. Yeah, Nas was 18 when he did 18, 19 when he did Illmatic.
Yeah.
So it's like, the age thing it's all about how you're brought up. And me, I was always fortunate enough to be around older dudes that were role models that I could look up to and learn from their mistakes, and just kind of try to follow in their path and avoid the obstacles that they had to run into. But these young cats now, I don't feel like they have that. Yeah. Like, I feel like they don't have anybody that's reaching back and that's trying to help them. It's like, you know, when you have a smartphone in your hand, you feel like you know it all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And back in the early 90s growing up, it was like, you had to learn on the fly outside. Like, you had to be on the block. You had to be around people that experienced certain things and that knew certain things. You couldn't just be in the basement and be weird all day.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening. You had to either, and if you were, like, when you came outside, cats knew, oh, that's the weirdo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, now the weirdos are cool. Yeah. Like, they're getting all the attractive women. They making money. They driving nice cars. It's like, so why would they stop being weird?
Yeah. Well,
if they have all the things that the cool guys have.
Well, that's the thing. Is to your point, times have changed, right? I feel like the term "the geek shall inherit the earth" is happening, but what we deem the geeks are really the weird people, and not to categorize, but that's how they're categorized, as being the ones that want to express themselves, you know, wearing blouses, purses, man bags,
and
stuff
again,
like that.
you know, to each his own. If that's what makes you comfortable, cool, but you know, we have to call it. It is a little weird from what we're used to.
It's obscure. It's a little obscure.
Yeah, it's like I didn't grow up with cats with purple and green hair. Yeah. It was kind of like, that was Halloween.
Yeah.
If somebody did that. And then it was like, you understood it. Like, okay, the next week, homie was back to regular dude. You know what I mean? But now it's like, they've embodied these personas that they have to live up to every day.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a catch-22 though, because although they're doing that, they are also the same people that are breaking the music industry system.
Yeah.
Like the system where it's like, oh, you had to be on a label. And if you go to a label, if you don't have enough clout, then you're going to get a 360 deal and this and that. And there are people that are breaking that. Like, if you think about it, even technically musically, Chance the Rapper is more towards that weird category than per se the norm of hip hop.
I agree.
If you think about it, he's kind of more, not saying that he's weird, but if there was like a balance, he's more towards the other side than he is from the traditional sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, although they're like that, they're the ones that are kind of bringing to light the bad side that comes with labels. And I hate to say that because I know people that work at labels, but there are some good things that come with business. Yeah. And they're pointing that out. Yeah. So it's kind of a catch-22. So it is, although that's something that's weird, isn't that also kind of like a good thing that they're kind of pointing out a flaw in the system in a sense?
I think so. I just, you see, I think my issue is this, right? And I agree with you. I agree. My issue is their influence is so big on kids.
Yeah.
I feel like they have the power, and I know that's where the conflict is, because you want people to, you know, express themselves, you want them to be who they are.
Yeah.
But I just think about kids that watch them on TV, kids that idolize these people, and they may not be secure. They're probably not secure.
Yeah.
It's like the Rugrats grew up.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
This era is like all the Rugrats grew up and they're outside.
And they just outside wilding. But now you have kids that idolize these other adults, and it could be confusing them. It could be, you know, kind of changing their mentality or how they approach life.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. That's what I really get concerned
I'm cool with, listen, be expressive, be artistic.
I'm for it.
All of those things are cool, but at the same time, it's like, all you kids are running around popping pills.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
Sipping lean, you know, doing all of these drugs. And it's kind of like you're showing these young kids, or you're making them believe that that's okay and that's cool. And it's not.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's like a real problem. Like, we have lost artists from drug addiction. And like, that's something that hip hop and, you know, the black community doesn't really like to address. It's like, dog, these young kids have a problem.
Yeah.
They're zombies. Like, if you look at somebody all day popping pills, sipping lean, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's like they can't function without it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't like it. Like,
so when kids see that, they're like, oh, he's doing that and he's what they deem to be successful. I can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's just a bad thing that was said.
But then that's the other thing. I feel like with times changing, I feel like when you're a rapper, and this may sound crazy, but if you're a young and up and coming rapper in this day and age, you gotta pop pills. You gotta do lean, because it's the popping thing right now. Even though it's horrible, but all you hear in music in this day and age is about lean, it's about pills, and it's about getting faded.
I think it's even a little more deeper than that. I think it's the fact that in hip hop, they don't want to address mental health.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people take drugs, it's because they're trying to run from something.
Yeah.
They're trying to suppress something.
And that's what
people
Joe,
don't just,
that's what Joe
yeah,
touched on.
People don't just take, I mean, maybe aside from weed, but anything that's stronger, people don't just take that just to take it, like, oh, let me do it for fun here and then and there.
Nah,
like,
you're
no,
running.
like if you're like consistently taking it, you're trying to suppress something.
Absolutely.
And that's the issue, is that we don't want to address the fact that mental health is a big issue within the urban and Black community that no one wants to really talk about.
Absolutely. I agree. I totally agree with that. I think it's bigger than that, though. I think that, you know, the powers that be, you know, you look at the 70s. The 70s was what? Peace,
Yeah.
music, you know, love. And then what happens after that? The 80s. Drugs come into the communities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now it's like,
So you
okay,
think it's just
war.
going all the way back around again like how it once was?
I mean, listen, man, it's not to get deep, because I feel like this is like a fun, lighthearted conversation, but
No, go ahead.
I really feel like there's a bigger agenda in that the powers that be use tools to infiltrate the communities and to infiltrate families, and music being one of them. And if they feel like all of these young artists are talking about is drugs, cool, drugs. Let them do it. Let them do the drugs. You know what I mean? But if we talking about how, you know, Jay put out a whole album just trying to teach, like, which is why I think that's one of his dopest albums, because it shows the maturity of him. And he's like showing his mistakes and things he wish he didn't do and things that he learned, and he's just trying to pass it on. Like, yo, take that. Look, get your credit up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Buy property. Like, all of the jewelry is cool, but you know what I mean? Like, it ain't
about nothing.
Buy some art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Invest in the, like, so now when you start to make things that we don't realize is cool, they don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Ross said, you know, you love me when I buy watches and all of this, but you hate it when I buy land in foreign places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
So now it is a good segue. Hove, right? So a lot of people don't know that your brother is, and you've always said he's someone that you've looked up to throughout your years growing up musically.
Right.
Talk to us. Who is your brother, and why is that so important for you?
My brother Biggs. Biggs and hip hop. That's probably the two names that are most prominent in the music industry. Yeah, so growing up, you know, looking up to my brothers and what they were doing and the movement there. And even back then, I didn't really understand what they were doing. I knew that, you know, it was music and, you know, Jay was an artist, but I didn't understand what they were doing for the culture.
Now, mind you, for the listeners and viewers, again, Big and these are the co-founders or part co-founders of Rockefeller Records.
Yeah, it was Dame, Jay, and my brother Biggs. Yeah, they started Rockefeller.
So now, as you're coming up, because I can only imagine you being in so many different spaces, I guess, for lack of a better word, where you're just soaking in memorable moments, probably historic moments. And then to see the fallout, how does that affect you? Because at this point, I mean, I remember being out with you one night when we went bowling or some shit, and we bumped into Jay and Beyonce. Jay walked up to you, dapped you, y'all had a whole conversation. How does that change when they then part ways and are, I wouldn't say not on good terms, but just not on speaking terms?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like conflicted to...
No, I mean, when I saw Jay that night when we were at the bowling, I mean, the split had happened already years. That was years into the split. But it's because I know these guys personally. And I know, you know, the love that they have for each other. And I understand that was business.
Yeah.
It wasn't a personal thing like that, like how people made it out to be. It was never that. It was never, you know, no negative shit talking. It wasn't that. It hurt because I looked at these three like they're like unstoppable.
Yeah.
Coming from where they came from and situations that they came through, I'm like, these guys can do anything. Like, you know, I've seen it. Like, they can do anything. Mm-hmm. So for that split to happen, it was more so like, damn, like business is business. It's just exactly what it is. But I didn't feel no type of way about it, honestly. I wish that it wouldn't have happened. I wish that it was a way to work around it and, you know, for those three to still be together and making history and moving the culture. But I mean, when you look back at what they've accomplished, I mean, it's still so relevant today that I don't look at it as a loss. I don't look at it as something that's like, it was short-lived and they didn't, you know, set out to achieve. Because you got to remember, he's on record saying he only wanted to do one album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you look up now at who he is now, it's kind of like, okay, so you literally surpassed and have done things you never thought you could do.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time. Like, I hear people saying, oh, Jay is the greatest rapper ever. You know, people have their opinions. And I laugh. And I always say, yo, Jay is one of the greatest humans ever to me. Because this is a guy that literally sold crack in the projects of Brooklyn, who is now one of the most influential men in the world. Yeah. That story is crazy. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming from that 80s era and being in the streets and to now being so influential in business and music and just black culture, period. It's amazing. You know what I mean? And I witnessed it from the beginning. And again, I didn't, you know, I'm young. I didn't think it was something that was so deep and so serious and was going to impact the world the way it did. But now looking back, I'm like, damn, like I really was able to see some like major things. And now I revisit some of those things in my head and I try to apply that to myself moving the way I move. Like, the one thing I learned throughout all of that is that relationships are more important than money.
Facts. I completely agree. And I guess I have a question for both of you. You know, I know he addressed when they fell out with Rockefeller, was that experience for you? But my question is, as someone who, you know, I was maybe like 3 years ago, I started working in the music industry. So I don't have as deep-rooted experience as you two. So how do you deal with situations where it's either a friend or a rapper that you know and they do something like assault on a woman or sexual assault, and it's actually true, like it did happen? Like, how do you even deal with that? Because it's like, that's your friend and he's a rapper, but then also on the same note, it's like, that's something serious that you have to deal with, you know?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, a lot of that you'd have to deal with internally. Like, you can't try to live, you know, and deal with things that are that serious publicly. And it's like, you kind of see signs. Like, if it's your friend and somebody that you really close, you see shit building up to a point where, that's why it's important to not be a yes man. And you got to be able to call your people out on shit that they shouldn't be doing. Like, yo, fam, slow down. Like, I know a lot of my homeboys, like, you know, they like to drink and smoke. And it's like, yeah, but, you know, you got to chill because, you know, there's cameras everywhere now. So you can't have a drunken night and not think that shit is going to be on the internet in an hour. Yeah. Because people, you know, especially when you're an athlete, an artist, you know, people see you and it's like, the first thing they want to do is take a picture or record something. Yeah. So you can't even have these lapses where you're just being too comfortable, or, you know, if you feel like you're in a situation where you and a female are, you know, getting into a little heated argument. I mean, hopefully you have people around you that can see it escalating and just be like, all right, yo. But now, you know, like, again, I can't control what you do when I'm not around you. And if, you know, one of my homies in a situation where it's like I wake up and hear, oh, he beat some girl, the first thing I'm doing is calling my homie. Like, yo, what is this? And I would hope that he's going to be honest with me. I'm not TMZ or anybody. Like, I need to know what happened. My phone is blowing up, like, and I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. So, you know, and if your homeboy tell you the story and it's like, oh, this bullshit, like, because again, things get magnified when it's a public figure. It's like if I have an argument with a girl, you know, it's just an argument. But if Kobe has an argument with his wife, it's domestic violence. It's, you know, it was physical. The cops had to come, and it's like. But if you talk to Kobe and his wife, and it's just like, yo, we just had an argument. It wasn't nothing physical. Yeah. But, you know, media gets it. It's their job to pump stories. But you just got to be a good judge of character and know your homies and try to keep them. Like, I try to keep even not just friends that are known. Even my regular homeboys is just regular cat. I just try to, if I see them going to something that I think is going to end up bad for them, I try to, yo, dog, don't do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to go down that road because when it's over and the smoke clears, you're going to be like, that was unnecessary. Yeah. It's always in the moment, you just not in your right state of mind. After you like, I could have avoided that easily. Yeah. I'm the king of avoiding shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like commotion and fight. It's just like, dog, for what? Somebody going to jail. Somebody's going to end up in the courtroom. The outcome just going to be bad. It's bad. For what? Yeah. For just 5 minutes of you just not thinking? No, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Now, as you do your podcast, you know, you guys are very open and or candid with each other, you know, when recording. Is there ever a time where, like, your brother or just some of the people that are known celebrities that you're friends with that you've maybe touched on or the podcast has touched on, it's caused a little bit of, like, a conflict where you're like, yo, my bad, we was wild. Like, we had to chill.
I've definitely gotten calls from Lenny S. Okay. You know, if people don't know who Lenny S is, he works at Rock Nation. He was worked at Rockefeller for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Joe has said some things about Lenny that Lenny took a little personal and took a different way than I think was intended. Mm-hmm. Because I know Joe, you know, he doesn't have any issues with Lenny personally. He definitely does. But you know, Lenny definitely hit me. It was a little tension from the OVO camp. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was things changed a little bit. Like I feel it. You know what I mean? I feel the change where it's kind of now like, you know, oh, that's Joe's man, and you know, but it's like, dog, it ain't really no beef with nobody. I mean, it's people like to, you know, rappers more than anybody to me are extremely sensitive.
100% agree.
I think we had that conversation
We just had
too.
that conversation. 100%
like
agree.
rapper, and it's crazy because some of these guys come from the toughest backgrounds, but it's like when they hear another artist mention their name, if it's not like, oh my God, he's amazing, he's the greatest, da 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 da, anything less than that is taken as, oh, he throwing shots, or he talking shit, or he. And it's like, no, like if I don't like a record that you put out last night, that doesn't mean I don't like you or I have a problem with you. Like the record. I just don't like that record. Like, I don't understand why that's something that rappers get so emotional about. And I get it. It's your craft. It's your art. People are sensitive about this shit. Mm-hmm. I get it. But come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you guys are making all this money traveling the world. What are you really upset about? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
It's like I'm saying, a part of it does have to deal with us being consumers. We put these people on these pedestals and build them up to be holier than thou. Yeah. So, of course, when something happens, that rapper pride, that rapper ego comes into play where they're like, oh, nah, fuck that. Like, I got to do something. I got to react. Even it could be the littlest shit ever. I have to do something.
It's the dumbest shit in the world. I don't understand rappers when it comes to that. Yeah. Like the sensitive, emotional shit. I'm just like, dog, you sold drugs before. Like, somebody saying something about you should not affect you at all. Yeah. Like, you've seen a lot. You've been through a lot. Your skin should be a little tougher than that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, musically, right? Because you guys often do play sleeper songs on your podcast now with Joe. Where do you find these people? Because your music is always very intricate. Like it's never one dimensional.
I like as of late, because Joe and Rory seem to, they just all the way R&B. I'm an R&B guy myself. Mm-hmm. I love R&B. I don't really listen to a lot of rap. Any rap I do listen to, it's like either old school or it's like new dudes that are like extremely dope.
Who are you listening to now right now, off the top of your head?
I literally just listen on the way here, listen to like the Belly project he just put out the other day. He might be my favorite new rapper right now. I think he's extremely, extremely talented. I think in this climate, he's a breath of fresh air.
You actually put me on the Belly.
Yeah, like I think that you got to listen to his new project.
Yeah,
like he's somebody that's been around for a while. You know what I mean? And you can tell. Like it's just that now is his moment as an artist. He's been around the industry for years. He's written songs with The Weeknd and Beyonce, and you know what I mean. So he's been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just like in the cut. Now he's coming out of his shell. You know, he lost a lot of weight. So, you know, now he's the confidence is there. Yeah, he getting into his bag now. But, you know, just as far as his talent level, I think is going to be recognized. I think top of the year, he's going to have, I mean, this project right here, I think is going to put him on more radar. But I think next year is going to be the year where he's like, I'm here.
Full frontal.
Yeah. Like, but if you get a chance, check him, like his project. And again, I'm a SoundCloud guy.
Yeah.
I think there's so many amazing artists on that platform, you know, and it's like you create your best when it's just, you know, it's not a job. It's just, I'm freely expressing myself.
Yeah. And there's also some they're out there just not getting the limelight, like Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah.
JID is another good one. They're really dope, but they're just not, I don't know if it's because it's not quite their time yet or they're just not getting the shine that they deserve yet.
A lot of it is timing.
Yeah.
And right now is, you know, it's hard to be a super intricate rapper because, you know, people's attention span is so short. If they can't dab a twerk to it, they ain't really trying to check
it's not
it like
gonna
that.
go long.
Unless somebody that they look up to stamps the approval, like, yo, this is the new guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when that happens, then they'll listen. But if somebody's just putting out music without a stamp of approval from a heavyweight, it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's why I appreciate the fact that we have TDE and Dreamville with J. Cole. And then even like when Kendrick and them say, oh, this is the new person that's signed, everyone instantly pays attention. It's like they're utilizing their influence for good.
Right.
You know, instead of like, quote unquote, selfish intentions.
Right. Yeah, certain talent you just can't suppress. It's just certain talent. I don't care if anybody stamps them or not. They're going to be successful because their talent just calls for that. Yeah. I think Kendrick was one of those people that when I first heard, you know, his Section 80. Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, fire. Oh, he's out of here. Yeah. You can just tell like his talent was like on another level. He has to be successful. You know what I mean? It was just like, he was just one of those. J. Cole was another one. Yeah. When I first started listening to Cole, I was like, he's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you could just tell. And I feel the same way about Belly. I feel like his talent, and he's so intricate, like things around it, the way he looks, his Instagram, you know, I could tell that he's funny. Certain captions, you gotta be like, okay, he has personality. He's not just like talented, but like, you know, just dull. Like if you meet him, it's like, okay, this dude doesn't have any person. He has personality. And I think that him losing a lot of weight is, you know, giving him more confidence with women, you know, with clothes that he's wearing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, he's ready for this limelight.
Underrated. Number one underrated artist right now, in your opinion?
Number one underrated artist right now, in my opinion. Can I give you rap and R&B?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Rap, underrated, I would have to say Royce the 5'9".
Agreed.
Facts.
I think he is, I've said it before, I think he's better than Eminem. Me personally.
Yeah.
I think he makes better music. I think he talks slick. I like slick talk. I like fly talk.
Yeah.
I think he does that very well. He's a great storyteller. He's very intricate. Like I remember when we was in Detroit and being in the studio, you know, Royce, so I'm at the studio. You know where I'm at. You know, I'm like, all right, I'm pull up on you. I pull up. You know, I go in there wanting to chop it up with my nigga. Nah, bro. Like this nigga he's a robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
we witnessed it firsthand being in Detroit. Like,
but he used to tell me like, Ma, listen, you know what I'm doing in the studio. You free to come by, but
yeah,
it ain't no, you know, I'm in here just on my Rain Man shit. And I was like, no, I get it. So, you know, I've seen the work that he puts in. So he might be, to me, he's the most underrated rapper. R&B, I'm not sure if I have a underrated. I love her. I love what she's doing.
Yeah, her is dope.
But that's like great branding.
Yeah.
That's amazing
I
branding.
love what she's doing.
Risky branding. That's not the normal.
Yeah.
That's not conventional brand. Normally, you put an artist out, you want them to be seen. You want to posterize them everywhere.
Yeah.
For them to hide her in every chance they could, including performances, is risky.
Well,
but I think they believed in the music too, though. Let me just say that.
Well, it's because, you know, who she is, and she was young when she first started in the industry.
Yeah.
And they thought the content wasn't going to be accepted coming from her because the people are like, oh, we know Gabby. Like, she's this little sweet young girl. And it's like, no, she's a woman now. You know what I mean? So the content has to change.
Yeah.
But I think that it was dope because the industry was like, we have to. I don't know. I think it was her. I don't think the industry or labels. I think that was her decision to kind of hide her identity.
To hide her personality.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when she first started in the music industry, she went like they knew it was her. It's so weird for us to say her. But then I guess I agree. There has to be something because I guess they saw how it wasn't working before, but they knew that she had talent. So I guess they had to do like a whole rebranding package, which honestly was probably one of the best branding that I've seen personally.
Yeah. That speaks volumes though when you think about it. For her to drop something,
drop something and no one knows anything, and that got so many plays. But I love it. One, because it was about the music. It wasn't about her appearance.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because that's what they always do with women. Oh, is she hot? No, it was about the music itself. They didn't care who she was at first. They said this was dope.
Am I a creep if I was attracted to her shadow?
Yes. I'm going to be honest with you. 100%
I
a
can't
creep.
just keep it real with y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
Forget it.
But I love her projects.
Yeah.
Like I think she's put out
She's fire.
Great projects. So I'm when I say underrated, I think that people should be talking about her more.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should be speaking about the music that she's putting out, and you know, to me, it's just like when you hear, like I find myself listening to it, and it's like I really like this music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I think vocally she's dope. The music is dope. The content is dope. So yeah, she would probably be my underrated R&B act.
I also can't lie. I think her project was one of the very few R&B projects that I'm able to listen to from the first song to the end and not skip a song.
I agree.
It's very few.
Yeah.
Like I put Liana's up there, Liana Banks. I definitely both her 1 and 2. Who else? Brandy Aphrodisiac. Fire. If y'all haven't heard that album in its entirety is just fire to me. It's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, but Brandy is.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like
she's Brandy.
Yeah, it's one of the very few albums I can listen to straight through.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're listening to artists, or better yet, let's rephrase the question. Now that you have this platform, I'm a brand new artist. I see you on the street. I say, Maul, I got this hot dial on. Help me. What should I be doing? What do you start with them?
If you have a phone, you have everything you need. If you have the internet, you have everything you need. I would just tell people, listen, man, just remain true to who you are. Remain true to your craft. And if it's not the absolute only thing you want to do when you get up every day, then it's not what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has talent as far as I'm concerned. But a lot of people don't know what their talent is. A lot of people haven't tapped into their talent yet. But, you know, if it's something that when you go to sleep, you're thinking about making music. You wake up, you think about making music. Like you're happiest in the studio. You're happiest when you're writing. Or then that's what you're supposed to be doing. Do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? And success may or may not come. But my thing is, if you're happy doing it, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Everybody wants to be successful. But like if you're genuinely getting up every day and doing something that you love, that you're passionate about, to me, that's the most gratifying thing in the world, as far as I'm concerned. people, everybody wants a check, money. Those things are great.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that have great jobs making great money and they dread going to their job every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that has to be the most painful thing.
Brandon points to himself.
Like, I feel like that's the most painful thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, cool, you're making money, you're able to, afford nice things, but you're not happy when you're making this money. So it's like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But, if cats coming up, like, you got the internet, you got everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can do songs with people in other country that you never even met now.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Nori on, I forgot what show it was on, but he said something that was interesting. He said, the internet killed New York hip hop, right? And he was saying because back in the 90s when he would be recording somewhere and let's say Cam or somebody was recording at the next studio, he was like, in order for them to do records together, he was like, yo, literally you would have to take the reel and walk 3 blocks over and go to that studio and put the reel in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, now with the internet, you don't have that anymore, right? Because you can just email something and, that camaraderie that, is not there anymore. But I understood what he was saying. But on the flip side of that, a lot of cats back in those days couldn't do records with cats that was in California.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the internet. We couldn't email a song. We couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now it's like, it's two sides to everything. I feel like the internet makes the world a lot smaller and it gives us access to everyone. Mm-hmm. And there's a negative and a positive in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, like, I think it's super dope that right now I can text my homeboy that's in China. Mm-hmm. I could FaceTime him right now in China. You know what I mean? I think that's super ill. Whereas back in the day, I would have to write a letter and hope to get a response in a week or something like that.
Pigeon.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like now, I'm talking about real time. Like I can FaceTime. Yo, what's up? They're 12 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, that's dope. But again, I understood what Nori was saying though. Like, cause now it's like I don't have to see these rappers if I don't want to.
Yeah.
You want me to do a song with you? Cool. Email it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the studio with you though.
Yeah.
So I understood what he was saying when they killed the New York, because New York, we don't support each other.
The connection of it.
Yeah. Like as New Yorkers is crazy. New Yorkers do not support each other.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing in the world to me, because then we'll sit down with somebody from another state and another region that we don't know anything about and be like, oh, this is my bro. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know this dude? Mm-hmm. But because he got a hot record out of Atlanta, this is your bro? Like I look at all these New York radios and I'm like, yo, y'all don't play anybody from the city. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of dope cats coming up in New York, which I don't play them. But whoever got the hottest dab and twerk record in Atlanta, y'all can't wait to get them up here.
Yeah.
And it's no shade. I'm not mad at anybody that's getting, recognition, but it's like we don't support. New York does not support New York.
Agreed. All right. Last thing before we go, because we obviously have to wrap.
Okay.
Funniest industry story, Maul, or experience, because you're a man that has seen many peaks and valleys.
Funniest, the funniest industry story that I can talk about.
Yeah, that you can talk about.
I'm trying to think of a really, really great funny story.
You can make it a Joe's story too, because Joe got a lot of good funny stories.
Oh my God, Joe has stories. Joe's a nut. He's a nut. Joe is really crazy. Like, let's just put that out there. Like when people say, "Yo, he's crazy," I'm like, no. Joe is really crazy. Like certified. I'm trying to think of a funny story about Jay that I could remember. Jay is just so cool, man. He's never. That's why that Solange and Beyonce incident was great for me. No, I'm gonna tell you why that was great for me, because I've never seen Jay in a situation like that. Like, you gotta understand, if you never met Jay, he walks cool. Like his demeanor his stride is cool. He never looks bothered. He's just like a cool cat. So to see him in a situation that wasn't cool, and he's like trying to like, I've never even seen Jay move that fast. Like his natural motion and his rhythm in life, that's not his life rhythm. Like everybody has a life rhythm. Like you walk in a certain rhythm, you speak in a certain rhythm. Like you don't notice it. But his rhythm is just cool. It's like, I'll get there when I get there, man. Like I'm not going to run. I've never seen Jay run. No, seriously, I've never seen him run. So to see him move like in that and like, yo, what you do? To me, that was great. I was like, okay, he's human. You understand? He had a human moment. That was very human. Like, like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like, you fucking hit me? Like, you bugging out?
Yeah.
I laughed every time I watched that shit because I'm like, yo, I've never seen Jay move this fast. Like, he's literally like, Jay is one of those dudes, if shots ring out, he'll probably just be like, oh, they wilding over there. Everybody else is like, oh, shit. He's just like, yo, they bugging. Why they doing that? So to see him being attacked and he has to kind of like, I felt like, okay, that's, you know what I mean? He's a regular guy now.
But do you think, Hov, when that's happening, he's probably like, yo, you wilding. Like, you got to chill.
Oh,
like,
no, even in that moment, you could tell he was like cursing.
He looked frantic. He looked,
you know what
like,
I mean?
He looked
but the greatest part about that is that we never would have known. Because remember, the pictures of them leaving that event surfaced first.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that anything had happened like that until the video came out 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
But then now when you look back at those photos when they're leaving, you can see Jay shit kind of all twisted up. So but you didn't notice that when you first seen the pictures. You was just like,
the attention to detail. And
like his shirt is out. Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, okay. So you was in the elevator you had to kind of get on your shit. To me, that's like, yo, that's the greatest shit ever to me. To see Jay just be vulnerable for a moment.
Human.
Yeah, like he's just human. Cause like I literally see people that, you know, like you forget how famous some people are when you have a personal relationship with them.
Yeah.
You forget. Like, you know, when you with Jay in the studio chilling and y'all cracking jokes for 3 hours, that's just Jay. You don't look at him like that's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But then when you go outside and you see paparazzi, you see people run, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. You forget. You understand? So to see him in that moment where, you know, it was just he had a human moment. Yeah. And he had to get, like another guy, Fab. I've never seen Fab. Like when I see Fab do like physical activity, I laugh. Cause he's just so cool to me. Like Fab he's never like.
They're cut from the same cloth.
But that's what I'm saying. So now you understand what I'm saying.
They're definitely cut from the same
It's
cloth.
funny to me when I see Fab, like I seen him post a picture lifting weights or something. I laughed at that picture for like an hour. Cause I'm like, Fab, what are you doing? And he's doing with any other guy. He's just working out. Yeah. But to see him doing it is hilarious. Because these guys are just like, you know, they just fly
larger than life, cool ass.
Cool
people.
exactly,
man. Exactly.
All right, well, it's time to go, man.
I'm sad, bro.
I'm sad too.
I haven't seen you in so long, man. I think the last time was it the live show?
It was at the live show.
Wait, no, it was what came first, the live show or the pool party?
The pool party was before. Are you talking about the one at Joe's place?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to that too. That was first, then the live podcast was after.
Yeah. So it was a live podcast.
So the last time I saw you
party
was
live.
That was the last time I saw you.
This
we got to catch up, man.
That's what we've been doing, man.
I totally love what y'all doing. I wish y'all nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think what y'all have going is really, really dope and really organic, and I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it sounds. Y'all have great chemistry on camera. When y'all did that Redman shit, that fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie, because you just don't see Redman doing.
Yeah, he don't do.
Yeah, so when I saw Redman, I was like, what? I have to know what Redman has going on. What is he doing? Like, he's one of those guys that I think is super duper talented, and this climate is for him because his personality is so big.
Oh my gosh,
It's funny though, because again, listeners like yourself, you heard that interview, but that was only like a small thing. Like there was way more.
I can imagine.
That we just couldn't put out.
Like I feel like Redman and Ghostface need their own show. Yeah. Those are two dudes to me.
Ghostface, if you're listening.
Who I feel like right now, they need their own show. Ghostface. Like Redman is just always like, he has one of the greatest MTV cribs ever.
I always say that.
That was the classic because
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Yo, he actually showed us place." Some other people, they be renting houses and stuff. Everyone's like, "No, this is where I live."
My man still sleep in the basement. Who cares? Like, leave him alone. He ain't gonna bother you.
The crazy shit about him is he still owns that house to this day.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I love about Redman, yo.
Yeah. So shout out to him.
But again, man, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it. And great best of luck to y'all in the show, man.
Thank you. Once again, I'm Brandon Killabh Hall.
And I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
And you just heard another Grassroots. We out.
Ski ski.